If you, my friend, are struggling with bulimia or an eating disorder of any kind, or your relationship with food, and you're finding that your stress levels are through the roof, or your stress is hard to manage, then this video is exactly what you need to hear right now. Thank you for being here. For the best mental health, body positivity, and self-love tips, subscribe to my channel, because every Tuesday and every Friday, we dive deep into these topics to give you all of the tools that you need immediately following the video to create your truest form of happiness and recover from your thoughts that aren't serving you. So join my little family here on YouTube. We are going to grow big. We're going to reach so many hundreds of thousands of people, and I want you to be a part of it every step of the way and get all the tools that you need. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the scoop. Here's what you'll want to know. We all get stressed. Everybody gets stressed. And learning how to cope with stress is something that some of us are amazing at. And some of us are terrible at it. And then we go through a whole whirlwind of negative emotions before finally coming to some sort of conclusion that is semi-logical. And then some of us completely internalize stress and manifest it as something that we are doing wrong, or we feel like we are less than when we get stressed out. And when one thing stresses you out, another thing stresses you out, and another thing stresses you out. And then you begin hating on yourself, hating on your body, because it's all you know. It's been ingrained in you for so long. Right? One thing in your life stresses you out, could be totally unrelated to body image. And then all of a sudden, when you go down this whirlwind, you start to get upset about the cupcake you ate last night, even though last night you were totally okay with it. You're like, yes, I did it, tackled my fear food. But because you're stressed out, you look for more things to feed into that stress. And it usually happens subconsciously, but then you're just a mess. You honestly are just a mess, and you got to fix that. You really gotta fix that. So that's why you're here today. And I know that this video is going to be valuable to you if you can relate to anything I've said so far, because I still get incredibly stressed out. Stress is inevitable, but I have developed 2.5 years into my recovery after 6 years of struggling with bulimia. I have developed positive coping mechanisms to use and to turn to in my toolbox when I am stressed. So although I get stressed, I don't stay in that place. I actually get out quite quickly, and that's what I want to teach you today. So I'm gonna stop talking about all that now, and we're gonna get right into it. Number one, those with eating disorders or bad relationships with food often compare themselves to others. We often see this version of what we think is the epitome of health and beauty in another person, and it's what we think we want for ourselves, and then we immediately feel bad about ourselves, right? So I go on Instagram, I immediately see these models, these fitness gurus that I think are just all things beauty, like the most beautiful person in the world. And I immediately start to feel ugly, and I immediately start to feel bad, or like I'll never be that. I know you can relate to what I'm saying. It's so easy to get caught up in that loop of seeing things online, or even in somebody at school or in your day-to-day life, and immediately have your confidence be shot. Like this video right now if you have ever felt that way, or you can relate to what I'm saying, so I have an idea of who has ever felt this way before. It's not a good feeling. But think about it for a second. We see somebody beautiful, and because we see them, we think we're ugly. Think about that for a second. That don't make no sense. That doesn't make any logical sense. Because someone's beautiful means that we're not. That doesn't make any sense. There's enough beauty to go around. There's enough happiness to go around. But we often think that because somebody has something means that they're taking it from us, meaning that there's less in store, so we don't have that. But if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense. Just because somebody has money doesn't mean you can't have money. Just because somebody can do 20 push-ups in a row doesn't mean you can't do 20 push-ups in a row. Just because somebody is beautiful doesn't mean that you're not beautiful. You just have to believe that you are. So it's not that they're taking it from you. It's that you have a confidence issue in yourself, and you need to build your self-confidence to believe that you are beautiful and to see the beauty within yourself. Do you see what I mean? So tip number 1 is to practice understanding that. Come on, Eden, I wanted you to give me something I can actually go and do. Here's the thing. You can actually go and do that, because a lot of the work around having a negative relationship with food or body image is mental. It's mindset work to develop that confidence and to develop that belief in yourself. Okay, well then give me an actual action step. Okay, write down a list of 10 things that you value about yourself. 10 things, whether it's personality-wise, body-wise, whatever. Eden, I don't value 10 things about myself. Well, then you're not done yet, because I promise you, I guarantee that if you sit down and you just write things that, even if you have to think about it, there are 10 things. We're trying to train our brains to work for us, not against us. Number 2, you need to find positive coping mechanisms to replace the urges that you have that feed into the thoughts that don't serve you. What do I mean? You're feeling urges to binge, urges to restrict, urges to hate on your body, urges to purge or over-exercise. Those are all habits that you've built up to cope with something. These are your negative coping mechanisms, so we want to replace those with positive coping mechanisms, because you can't break down one habit without having something to replace it, or it's going to cause you to be stressed out, it's going to cause you anxiety, right? Take somebody who has smoked cigarettes their whole life. If you just take away the cigarettes, quit it cold turkey without having something to replace it with, whenever they get stressed out, when they would normally turn to a cigarette, or in your case it might be food, they're going to start to feel anxiety, stress, and maybe an animalistic drive to do something that they know in a long term isn't good, but they don't have anything as an alternative. So we want to start brainstorming alternatives, right? So what can you do when you're having these urges to minimize the likelihood that you are going to feed into them? It's not going to be perfect right away, and it might not even work for a while. But with consistent practice and reminding yourself that this is better, the system works. You just have to work the system. And you have to commit. You have to commit to transitioning the habits that you have that aren't benefiting you into ones that are benefiting you. So commit to journaling every time that you have these coping mechanisms. And commit to a meditation practice once a night, so that can be your positive coping mechanism that you can instill as a ritual over the long term. Also, I just remembered you can also do breath work. The number 1 free stress reliever in the world is breath work. Look up a YouTube video on it. I do this thing called the 4-7-8 breaths. I can talk about that in another video, let me know. But breath work is insanely incredible and has the power to immediately get you out of a state of stress. Okay, so I have one more tip for you guys, but first, if you have found any value in this video at all, I would love it if you took a moment to like this video so it helps me in the YouTube algorithm grow and spread these messages to more people, and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so that we can grow. We are going to reach hundreds and thousands of people. I want you guys to be here for it, for the journey while changing your life, so it would mean the absolute most to me. Did you do it? Did you subscribe to your girl? Did you do it? Okay, number 3. The last and final tip that I have for you is one word. Nature. Nature. Not only in nature are you alone, which if you struggle with disordered eating thoughts or thoughts of any kind of this nature, then it's really easy to feel isolated and alone. But it also can be very shameful and embarrassing to go out in public as well, right? It's like you could be in a room full of people and still feel alone, but you also enjoy your alone time and space. I know you know what I'm talking about, but when you're in nature, if you are going to be spending time alone, you have an opportunity to connect and to think. The earth has a subtle electrical charge, and I find that when I am outside and surrounded by the plants and surrounded by all the air and everything that just allows me to separate from real life, I feel better, right? We have to get back to our roots. We didn't have social media hundreds of thousands of years ago, right? Think about what our ancestors did in times of stressful states. Think of all of the natural, Ayurvedic, organic things that we used to do before industrialism and everything came to the world. We were in nature. We had plants, we had gardens, we connected to our roots, and the closer you can connect to the earth, the better that you'll be. And I recommend doing this as often as you can, multiple times a week if you can. Just get outside. Have some time to think for yourself. I promise you, this can make a huge difference in your life and your mental state when you are stressed out. All right, you guys, so that's all I have for you today. Again, in my videos, I only like to give between 1 and 3 actionable takeaways so that I'm not overwhelming you and overpowering you with so much information. But if this has brought you value in any type of way, then apply it. Don't let this be another video that you just zoom past and don't do anything about it. Let this be the video that speaks to you and says, okay, this is the one. You are here for a reason. There is so much hope in you. There is so much opportunity for you to heal, and you just have to believe it. And you have to develop that belief that you can do it. I believe in you. I believe in every single one of you. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, if I could do it, you can do it, because you don't know me. You don't know what the difference between me and you is. You might be putting me on some sort of pedestal, but whatever. I know you can do it. I know that you can, and you need to actually apply what you learn in these videos. And the first step to doing that is not only applying what you learn, but joining my Facebook group, Let's Get Body Lovin', for daily and weekly Q&As, tips, positive body images. You need to fill your feeds of all your social platforms with love and good energy, okay? Take out all the toxicity and then put these into practice. If you want me to elaborate on this a little bit more and talk about how you can actually incorporate these things into your schedule, leave me a comment down below and let me know, and I can tell you exactly how I would organize my Google Calendar, my written calendar to make this happen, especially as we are in trying times. So with that being said, follow me on my Instagram account for more. I just created a new Instagram. It's at Eden Kyra Gold, EdenKyraGold, and I'm sending you guys love. I'm sending you good energy. I'll also give you a link down below to get my online course, Let's Get Body Lovin', a beginner's step-by-step guide to loving and accepting your body, down below in the description. $27 for lifetime access. It's going to go up to $497. So that being said, that's all I have for you guys. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Bye, love you.